Hey guys, I'm not sure I've ever done an end of year favorites video, so let's start now. I'm going to be sharing with you all of my makeup favorites from 2020. Now these aren't products that came out in 2020. I don't think any of these, maybe, came out in 2020, but they're the products that I've been using the most in 2020. Before we dive in, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what some of your favorite makeup products have been this year. Now I'm going to try to go through these in some sort of order if I can. I'm going to start with brow products because that's how I always start my makeup routine. This is literally not going to be a surprise to any of you who watch my channel, but if you are new here, welcome. My favorite brow product this year, and the brow product that I use the most, I actually don't make anymore. It's from BH Cosmetics. It's the Flawless Brow Trio, but I did pull out what it actually looks like now, and it's a brow duo. So I use powder in my eyebrows almost 90% of the time, maybe even more than 90%. I do use pencils sometimes, but more often than not, I'm going to be using a powder. You can tell that this is old, but I'm using it to its death. I like to mix the two different colors, the darker color and the lighter color. I'll use the darker color on the outer edge of my brow and sort of lighten it up as I go in. I won't stay on this for too long. I've mentioned it a billion times and they don't make it, but the brow duo, very similar. Doesn't come with the wax, which is fine because I never used the wax that came in that product. It comes in a cute, much more compact packaging now. Comes with a little mirror as well in the two different colors. So once I run out of that one, which I have a backup of the Flawless Brow Trio, so I'll probably be using that before I even touch this. You guys like brow powders? I just find them to be so easy to use. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of natural brow hairs, it may not be the best product for you. I find that it just adheres pretty well to my hairs that I have now and fills in the gaps. I will always use a brow gel. This bottle is well loved. The writing is rubbed off on it. I'm probably due for a new one pretty soon. This is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's such a good brow gel. I've used a couple other ones and nothing's compared. My two favorite brow products throughout the year of 2020, these two guys. It's probably going to stay that way a while. Everything I'm talking about today, I pretty much have on my face unless I show you 2 or 3 of a product that I use a lot. But I'll tell you what I have on my face. So I do have the brow powder and the gel. I don't always use eyeshadow primer. Sometimes I just use my concealer. But when I do use an eyeshadow primer, I love this one from Nars. It's the Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. This is in the shade Light. They've got a clear one. I think they've got a couple different colors as well. This is just a fantastic eyeshadow base for me. I love the applicator, really easy to use. I find that my eyeshadow does stay on longer when I use this eyeshadow base. It's a good way to cover up some of the veins that show up on my eyelids and just give a nice flat canvas to work with. You can find it at Ulta and I think Sephora as well. An eyeshadow palette was actually a really easy pick for me this year. I think with 2020 being so weird, and I honestly don't wear a lot of makeup to my regular job, this is the eyeshadow palette I have been using the most. And I think you'll even see in some of my past Instagram posts where I show you guys what I've been wearing in my videos, you will see this palette show up a lot. It's Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Soft Glam palette. The eyeshadows are amazing. All these palettes are really fantastic, but this color story is just my jam. It's got naturals, it's got a little bit of warmth. It is more warm of a palette. It's what I have on, plus one other product I'm going to talk about for eyes. This is such a staple for my eyeshadow. If I don't know what I want to put on, if I just want to do my eyeshadow really fast, this is my go-to. The formula is great. There is a little bit of kick up, blends like a dream. I adore this palette. This would be a palette that I would travel with if we could travel right now. But it has a great combination of transition shades, mattes, shimmers. I'm obsessed with this, and if you are starting out with eyeshadow or you just lean more towards natural shades, this is such a great grab. Anyone else find that they were doing a lot of neutrals this year? Now what I have all over my lid is a Tarte Chrome Paint Shadow Pot. I did a video on these a billion years ago, but still my favorite, my go-to single eyeshadow that's a shimmery type of eyeshadow. This is what it looks like in the jar. So gorgeous, easy to apply. You can apply it with your finger, but I also like to apply using, where is it in front of me? I just used it earlier. A little silicone applicator like this one from BH Cosmetics. I love all of the colors of these, but my most used is Top Yacht. Top Yacht is just a champagne color. It can brighten up any type of eye look. I've had this one for a while and it hasn't dried out. Great, beautiful shimmer type of product. When I worked at Ulta, they asked, I don't work there anymore, but they asked on a display thing we were doing what our favorite eyeshadow palette was, and I didn't put down an eyeshadow palette, I put down the chrome paint shadow pots, and I'm still loving them. For eyeliners, my go-to, the Marc Jacobs eyeliners are just to die for. They work so well. They're twist up, which I love. I don't like sharpening lip pencils or eye pencils. These are the Highliner matte gel eye crayons, and these two colors are my most used. It's Earthquake and Brownie. Brownie is the more warm toned one, which is what I have on my eyes today. I put it on my upper lashes and my waterline. They stay on really long. They stay on your eyes a really long time. They're just great quality. They will last. I know they're a little bit more expensive for an eyeliner. If you're looking for something a little less expensive, the ColourPop eyeliners are great, but they don't last as long as the Marc Jacobs eyeliners. I wish I could have these in every single color. I have so much stuff in front of me. I'm trying not to miss anything. Oh, liquid eyeliner. The Wet n Wild Mega Liner eyeliner. And it's so funny because I just transitioned from Marc Jacobs to Wet n Wild. But honestly, I used to use the Kat Von D tattoo liner, which I still like. But I found that this one from Wet n Wild is really, really dark. When it comes to applicators that are like this, they can be a little more intimidating. But I got my sister hooked on this as well, and it's cheap. It stays on the eyes really long. If you're looking for a really inexpensive black liquid eyeliner, I highly recommend the Wet n Wild Mega Liner. They have some different colors as well. It does take a little bit of getting used to. You can certainly glob on way too much if you're not careful, but once you get the hang of it, it's great for a winged eyeliner. For mascara, this is not a surprise. I'm gonna match it right now to my L'Oreal mascara, the Voluminous Original in Burgundy. I really like bringing out the green in my eyes, and this does that for me. It's a great mascara, great staple mascara. I know the original in the black tube is really popular as well. It's drugstore, so it's not as expensive. I think batches might be a little inconsistent with these. The bottle I'm on now, for whatever reason, feels like it's a little bit more of a drier formula, but I'm gonna keep putting it on. I'm gonna use my little lash comb. I'm gonna do my best to make it look good because I love this. I could have bottles on bottles and bottles of this because I will use it. The applicator's pretty typical. It's not anything fancy, just your general applicator. I do have two primers, also drugstore primers, that I have been using a ton this year, just like everything in this video. So the two primers I've used the most are the Catrice Prime and Fine Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer, Fresh It Up Moisturizing with Bamboo Water. That is a lot on one cover of a package. I picked this up on a whim, and I have been so freaking dry lately that any type of primer that's going to add more hydration on top of my skincare, I'm going to use. This is very inexpensive. It smells nice. It doesn't have a really heavy scent to it. Did I do a primer battle video on this? I might have. I don't remember if I did, but it's lightweight. I didn't use this one today. This is one that I use for work. I don't wear this amount of makeup when I go to work. And I've been using this a little bit more lately because I'm running so low on my other one that I'm obsessed with. This is from Found Beauty. It's the 24 karat gold primer with hyaluronic acid. This one's definitely heavier on the skin than the Catrice one. I find this one gives a little more hydration, and it obviously feels a little more luxurious than this one. They have really nice makeup wipes as well. And this primer is just lovely. I love the pump instead of the squeezy tube. Not that that bothers me because they're both in my most used primers of this year. I think if you have normal skin, you'd like these as well. If you have oily skin, You might like this one with less use. What I mean by that is using less product. This one would probably be too heavy for you. The complexion products I picked are honestly a no-brainer. This has been my favorite foundation forever. It hasn't changed. The Nars Sheer Glow is just, I can't live without it. I love applying it. I put it on with my fingers first and then blend it out with a sponge. I can't put too much on of this, which I really enjoy. I feel like even if I put too much, it blends out really nicely. Nars complexion products are just, I think they're my favorite. The only thing, I don't know if they still don't come with the caps on them. You have to buy the caps separately, the little pump cap. It's what I'm wearing on my face today with that Found primer. It feels good. It doesn't feel heavy. And it is a sheer glow foundation. I am not someone who wears a lot of full coverage foundations, but this feels like plenty of coverage for me. I don't cover up my freckles or anything. Now, for work though, I don't put it, I don't put that on for work. Sometimes I do, if I'm filming a video. But for work, this I can't live without. This is the Erborian BB Cream, Baby Skin Effect Makeup Care, Face Cream 5-in-1, Broad Spectrum. This is in the lightest shade that they carry. I heard about this product, and the first makeup YouTuber I started watching was Makeup by Tiffany D. She mentioned this so long ago, and I never pulled the trigger on buying it. This is my skin but better. This is just a little bit of something so I don't look like a zombie in the morning for work. Blend it out with my fingers and then use the sponge. The texture is a little bit more moussey. It is a squeezy tube. I don't know what I would do without this product now in my life. I have a backup on its way right now in the mail. They were doing a sale at Ulta once, and this product, oh, it was their beauty steals, their 21 days of beauty or whatever they call it, where they would have a product be on sale for one day. And I was so mad because this was one of those products and I couldn't get my hands on it. It had sold out, and I was like, really? I didn't think it was as popular as I guess it is because it's so good. I like that it has SPF in it as well. It says it evens out and mattifies the complexion. It is not a glowy product. You would think with my skin being so dry, I wouldn't be drawn to this, but I don't feel it on my skin. And it really doesn't mattify. It just makes my skin look like my skin. That, what do they call it? Baby skin effect. It truly is. I'll have to do a video of what I wear for my work makeup, which is very minimal. And you can see this in action because it's so good. We're probably at the point where we're on concealer. As I grab one in my hand. I've got two concealers to talk about. Here's another Nars product. Obsessed. This is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer. Again, one of those mattifying products, which I feel like isn't really matte. This is the only concealer that I can use to cover up the redness on my nose. It works for me. I put on my foundation. If I need more coverage on my nose, which I almost always do, this is what I go for. This is also a really great under eye concealer. And I realized today I didn't use any color corrector under my eyes, so they do look a little bit dark. But what I did was I put this on first, and then I used this guy from First Aid Beauty. This is more of a thicker concealer. You're gonna wanna use it with your fingers or a brush and then blend it out. This is in the shade Vanilla. I also used this shade for the one that Nars has in the tube. I haven't used that one in a while because I've been loving this one so much. This is the First Aid Beauty Bendy Avocado Concealer. It's really lightweight. This is one of those concealers that I'm going to use for when I go to work or if I want to layer it on top of another concealer. So a lot of times when I do my eye makeup first, I like to use my sponge with my concealer to kind of cut out the edges, which I did today. And I can't do that as well when I'm using this type of product in a jar, but I can with this guy. This is in the shade 1. I also have the shade 2. Sometimes I'll mix them together. This one's a little bit lighter, but it feels good on the skin. It doesn't feel like it's sucking out the moisture from my skin. This is very light to medium coverage, but glides on really smoothly. I like the applicator. and I will continue to use this. Now, normally after I do my whole complexion, I will go in with a powder of some sort. And I say that because I haven't really been using setting powders. Again, because I've been really dry and I've been trying not to set my face as much. But I do use a finishing powder, and I know I'm not using it the way that they want you to use it. But I do use this one from Hourglass, and I use it under my eyes and on my nose. It is more of a lightweight powder. You're supposed to use it at the end of your makeup to put that last finishing touch on your skin. But for me, I like using it under my eyes. I feel like it brightens them up a little bit, and on my nose because I just need that extra powder on my nose because my makeup rubs off, especially with wearing masks. This is in the shade Ethereal Light. It's their ambient lighting powder. I think it does help. I think it helps keep it on longer, and it doesn't make me feel like I have a ton of powder on my face, where if I go in with too much setting powder, that can be the case. For bronzer, I took out two, and the two that I've been using the most this year are both drugstore, which is great. And one of them's the OG, the Butter Bronzer. Everyone loved this. This was like the hottest bronzer out there. And for good reason. It's really lightweight. It's a tropical scent to it. I love the texture. It looks pretty. I have very fair skin, so for me, bronzer can be really tricky. And this one I can apply without it looking like I have a ton of bronzer on my face. This is the one that I have on today. I just put a tiny bit on my forehead, a little bit on my cheeks, but I really don't like to go in with a lot just because I am so fair. It can look really fake if I go too hard in the paint. The other one is this one from e.l.f. Now, if I go too heavy-handed with this one, it can be a little disastrous, but I love how long this stays on my skin. The Physicians Formula one does stay pretty long as well, but this one will stay on even longer. I think that's because this is part of that e.l.f. Primer-Infused Primer-Infused line. It doesn't have a name on the actual bronzer, but this is in the shade Forever Sunkissed. It doesn't really have a scent to it. It is a light powder that's easy to use, but if I can show you, yeah, you can tell in the camera that this one is definitely more warm. Now blush, I only took pictures of two of them. And then I realized the other day after I had taken the product photos that I was forgetting one that I used all the time. So I'll talk about that one first because I don't have pictures of it. It's the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Blush. And this is in the shade Beige for Days. I think blush is one that I play around with a little bit more just because it really is dependent on the eye look. It's great when I have a really colorful eye look on and I really don't want my cheeks to look pink or too coral. It doesn't look like bronzer, even though first glance it kind of does look like a bronzer. It's warmer. So if I were to put this all over my face like a bronzer, I would look ridiculous. Great for when I'm doing green tone looks on my eyes as well. You'll see me use this a lot if I'm doing deeper greens or golds. I've mentioned this, oh gosh, way back. This is the Too Faced Papa Don't Peach. I don't even know, do they make this anymore? It's from the Peach line, which was so coveted and limited edition. I think it's permanent now. Don't quote me, I honestly don't know. I love this one. It's what I'm wearing today because, again, I can wear it very lightly or build it up. And this one's got a shine to it where the Bare Minerals one doesn't. This one's more of a natural looking blush in its finish, where this one is, this is like what my blush looks like when I'm naturally blushing, but it's got a very fine shimmer to it. It's got a very nice sheen to the skin. Right now, since I've been really dry, I really like having a little bit more of a glow to my cheeks. I like have nothing on my eyes besides mascara, which is a lot of the time. This is the blush I'm gonna put on because it makes me look healthy. It makes me look a little more radiant. The smell can be a little overwhelming. If you are not a scent person, just don't go near scented lines. Like the Butter Bronzer, very scented. This, very scented. The cream product I've been loving, which the inside looks so gross, I don't even want to show you what it looks like. This is the Beach Cheeks Cream Blush Ocean Girl. And this is from the Sugar Rush line that Tarte did. It's more of like, it's geared more towards younger generation. Very similar to, the colors aren't going to look similar, really, no. Well, actually, they do look pretty similar. This one I like when I'm in a rush as well because I'll take my fingers, pat it onto my skin. I know it's not the most sanitary. Take my fingers in there and pat it onto my skin and can go. I am really trying to get more into cream products. I just think it looks better as I'm getting older as well. All right, so for highlighter, and this is actually funny as well that I mentioned Makeup by Tiffany D because I got this product from her recommendation a long time ago as well. It's the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder Highlight in 1. I've had this far too long, but it lasts like no other. It doesn't look like a blinding highlight, but it also makes you look healthy. I do put it on the high points of my cheeks, and I put a little bit on my nose, on my cupid's bow, under my brows. I did combine this with the other product, which I'm going to share. I don't even know how to describe this besides that it's just a fantastic highlight. Maybe it does look a little more shiny to you guys, but I'm not putting it in that concentration on my cheeks, but it just gives the most beautiful glow to the skin. I will use this. I will repurchase this in as long, oops, I just dropped something, as long as it exists. I actually cracked the packaging and that's what fell on the floor a little bit earlier. I cracked it this morning and I left the piece that cracked on my desk and I hit it with my knee. But anyway, this is from Frank Body. This was a hidden gem. I hadn't heard people talk about this and oh my goodness, this is so good. I got it from Ulta. It's the Frank Body Illuminator and it says Dab Blend Brag on the side. Super cute, creamy, and this is such a wet looking formula. I have this, oh gosh, you're not going to be able to see. Oh, maybe a little bit. It's going to be hard to tell if you guys can see. It goes on really well. I, again, put my fingers, I tap it onto the high points of my cheeks, down my nose, under my eyebrows, in the corners, inner corners of my eyes. That's what I've got on today. I've got this illuminator plus the Laura Mercier one, and it just looks, it looks like you've had a good workout. It looks like you're really healthy. Yeah, really glossy. I'm just rambling at this point about the highlight, so I'm gonna move on to lip products and setting spray. Actually, let's do setting spray first because I tend to do that before I put my lip product on. It is the Pure Lip Mist Illuminating Setting Spray Blue Light Defense. It smells lovely. It makes my skin look really dewy. I'm gonna spray some more on. I just love this. I could spray it all the time because it smells so good. I like that it's got the blue light defense. I work in front of a computer all day, so I love that added effect to it. You shake it well before use. You can reapply throughout the day. It's cruelty-free, gluten-free, vegan-friendly. I think I do have another bottle of this already. I hope I do. It is quite similar to this one from Flower Beauty, the Seal the Deal Luminizing Setting Spray. You will see me use this quite a bit as well. Radiant finish, very, very similar, these two. The Flower Beauty one's really nice. It does not have that blue light defense that this one from Pure does. This one took me by surprise as well. I don't have a lot of products from Pure, but this is definitely one I would recommend if you're interested in trying the brand. For lip products, I used to never wear lip liners. I hardly did, but I'm starting to get into them slowly. And this is the type that I've been using a lot throughout 2020. It's the Wet n Wild Perfect Pout Gel Lip Liners. They're cheap. I wanted to try out some lip liners that are cheap because I wasn't really into them, but these are great. They are twist up. I love this color. It's what I've got on right now. This one is Lay Down the Mauves. It's a great mauve-y color. It comes in a lot of different colors. Inexpensive. If you're just starting to look into using lip liners, the Perfect Pout ones from Wet n Wild are great. I do have two other lip products to talk about. This one is also from that Tarte Sugar Rush line, and I honestly don't know what this is called. This shade is Dragon Fruit, but I've had this in my purse for so long that I don't know what the name is. Wait, I have an unopened one in my drawer. Hold on. It's the Lip Slip Vegan Lip Oil, and it is the Tarte Sugar Rush line. I fell in love with these because I was looking for something that was a little less expensive than the Clarins lip oil. I love the Clarins lip oil, but I wanted to try something a little different. These are cheaper. They have a really big applicator, which I love. It does add just a little bit of a berry looking tone to the lips. I feel like I've been talking forever. My last favorite of this year is from Nars. another Nars product, the Afterglow Lip Balm. And this is what I put over the lip liner, but as you can tell as I'm talking, it's kind of fading everything away. I'm gonna put this liner back on. This is actually what I wore on my lips without any lip liner or anything when I was trying on my wedding dresses or finding my wedding dress. That was actually not even this year. That was 2019. Yep, that's a whole nother topic. Trying to get married in 2020. If you haven't seen my video, I'll link it whichever way up here. But this is a great also product to keep in your purse. Gives a very, very light touch of color on your lips. That one's gonna look a little more berry because I did have the lip liner on. It comes in different shades now. This used to be, I think, the only shade that they had. You should check them out. I think Sephora has a couple different options for colors, and they just feel comfortable. It's not the most nourishing lip balm, but I do like the sheen that it does give on the lips. That is everything I'm going over in my most used products in 2020 makeup wise. Is there anything that I'm in love with that you're excited to try or to look into? I know it wasn't really any like new products, but this has been such a weird year and I just kind of stuck to what I know and love, and these products are just great in quality for me to keep going back to them over and over again. So thank you for taking the time to sit down with me and go through my favorite makeup of 2020. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, leave me a comment down below. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.